Okay, real quick video here on how to create Python virtual environments. We've spent a lot of time with miniconda and stuff, which is awesome. You need to know how to do that. I love miniconda, the simplicity of it. But as we move on, you're going to want to be able to use these Python virtual environments because they work so easily with your Python code. You can package them, and you can actually copy and paste them, put them into different places. In fact, you could, if you really wanted to, you could. You don't even have to put them in the folder that you're using. You could put everything into a different folder, but you got to do a lot of typing to do that. So anyway, we're going to show you some real basic stuff, how to get going here with the Python virtual environment. It should just take a minute here. So let's crack on over to our terminal here. Now let's say we're in a, let's make a directory, and we're just going to call this the pretend directory. Okay, let's say this is our application directory. Okay, this is, normally what do? We come in, we create our conda, we git clone, we do everything because we're installing a package. So let's pretend this is the application package. Now, normally we would do something like this. We would go conda create, right? -- name. But instead of doing all this, what we're going to do is something different. We're going to type Python. Okay, so it means we're going to give it a Python command. We're going to go -m, which means we're going to run a Python module. And what module we're going to run? We're going to run the one called Vim, or virtual environment. Now, the next space in here is the name of the virtual environment. So you can name it whatever you want. You can name it, this is my virtual environment, and here I put all of my applications. But then you'd have to type that in 800 million times. So what most people do is they just call it Vim. Okay, and we could put a Python in here, but we're not going to. We're just going to use the one we got. Okay, and it's going to create it. Now, a lot of times when you download stuff that you're installing, you might notice that there's a Vim directory in there already. Okay, so that means that they're using a Python virtual environment. So now if we type directory, you're going to see there's a Vim directory. So if we go into it, you're going to see it created some other directories. The one that we're most wanting is this one called scripts. Okay, so then we could go cd scripts. Okay, and then inside of here, we're going to see that there is a file called activate.bat. So from here, we would just type activate. And now notice, we're in our virtual environment. Okay, if we want to get out of the virtual environment, we type deactivate. Simple. Okay, now, but watch this. I'm going to go back by typing .. then \.\. It's taking me back 2 folders. Okay, now watch what happens if I type activate from here. So it activated, but not my environment. Okay, so it did something, but it's not the one I wanted. Now let's see if we can even get out of it. Okay, it will let us get out of it. So what we want though is we want the Vim environment. We know that that wasn't our environment because it said base. So what we're going to do is, last time we went cd Vim, cd scripts, but we can do it from the front. And this is very important once you're creating bat files and using Python. We're going to use the term call. Okay, it means that we're going to call a file in the terminal, and we're going to call it belongs in the Vim directory. Well, let's put a actual thing before that. Scripts, and then activate.bat. Hold on. There we go. He didn't want that backslash. So by typing call in there, it activated it. Now we're in the correct Vim environment. So we can still do our conda stuff. They still work together. So if we got to install our CUDA toolkit, we can go conda install or conda create. No, we don't have to install. We go install, NVIDIA CUDA toolkit equals 11.8.0. So we can still do all of this, and it's going to tie itself in with our virtual environment that we made in the Vim thing. Okay, so now let's say we want to deactivate it. So same thing, we're going to have to go call Vim scripts deactivate.bat. Okay, and now we're out of it. Now the cool thing about this is if you wanted to move this to another directory, you could just move it to another directory. If you want to get rid of it and delete it, all you got to do is delete the directory. Let's see here. I think you do that like this. So we can just do this like this. We'll just type rmdir. So we're going to hit that mdir. So we're going to remove a directory. We're going to give it these things. It's going to tell it to delete everything in the Vim thing, including the subfolder. So now if we type direct, you notice it's gone. So now we've gotten rid of the virtual environment. With conda, we would have had to have typed something like conda remove name and then blah 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 and all. So we'd have done that with the Python virtual environment. All we had to do was delete the folder. We could have done that in Windows Explorer. So that's a real simple way to use virtual environments with Python. It really kind of comes down to your choice. A lot of times there's different apps where you have to install stuff in the conda thing, but again, I like using miniconda just because it's simple, it's clean, but this is a nice, real fast way to get stuff done, especially when you're doing stuff in code, especially when you're building stuff that you're going to package out to people. So put this in your arsenal, play around with this. You're going to enjoy this, and as always, you stay good, and we'll catch up with you later.